Madawan Aberdeen School District's Committee of the Whole meeting on March 14th, 2022. Time is now 6:30 p.m. The New Jersey Open Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or agreed upon. In accordance with the provision of this Act, the Madawan Aberdeen Regional School District Board of Education advertised this meeting on January 10th, 2022 in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger. This notice was also sent to the municipal clerks of the Borough of Madawan and the Township of Aberdeen, and the Madawan Aberdeen Public Library. The notice was also placed on the district's website. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Case, can we please have a roll call? Mr. Ahern?
Here.
Dr. Delaney?
Here.
Ms. Silas?
Here.
Ms. Friedman?
Here.
Ms. Martinez?
Here.
Mr. Montone?
Here.
Ms. Bell?
Here.
Ms. Osborne?
Present.
Mrs. Foley?
Here.
Can I get a motion and a second to accept the correspondence to the board?
I'll motion.
Second.
Okay. We're going to move into our first executive session. Be it resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy, personnel, and legal matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of the executive session is estimated to be 10 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. Action will take place. Can I get a motion and a second to enter exec session?
I'll motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to return to public session?
I'll motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna, Dr. Rick, I'll turn it over to you. Oh, okay. Superintendent's report is just the audit.
Yes.
So John Swisher from Suckling Company is going to address us for the audit over the 2021. He'll just briefly go over it for us.
Thank you very much. It's like so much space here, I don't know what it is.
Now you can sit.
Now I gotta be able to do this and turn pages, it's not gonna be easy, but. Right? Oh, no, okay, I'm okay, I'll wing it. So my name is John Swisher, I'm with the firm of Suckling Company. You hired us to conduct your annual audit for the year ended June 30th, 2021. For those of you that have been here before for this, we're usually a lot earlier than this. The report is usually due December 5th. Okay, we were delayed this year because of certain information that was required from the State Division of Pensions that didn't come out until literally the middle of February. So the due date is the 15th of March. The reports are done. They're in Lindsay's hands. I'm sure they'll probably be filed either today or tomorrow, so you guys will be in compliance, which is good news. The results of the audit are going to be contained in two reports. There's a larger report, the ACFR, the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, that has all the numbers in it and the opinions. And then the Auditor's Management Report. I want to start with the ACFR. The ACFR, as I said, has all the financial data in there. It also includes the opinions that we're required to render on your financial statements. The first of which is the opinion on the financial statements, and you want an unmodified opinion on that opinion. And basically, what that means is that the financial statements can be relied upon. You want that unmodified opinion. It tells everybody you can rely on the information here, whether you're relying on the Board of Education, the public, and outside borrowers. So you do get that unmodified opinion on the first opinion. The second opinion is on internal controls and compliance. And the internal controls are the rules and regulations you have internally in the district, how you process your transactions. Compliance relates to the laws and regulations of the state of New Jersey and the federal government that governs school board accounting. That opinion does have some comments in it, which I'm going to refer to when I address the Auditor's Management Report. You have a clean opinion also on your single audit opinion. Single audit is an opinion that we have to put when you have more than $750,000 of expenditures in either federal or state grants. When this happens, we have to go in and do a deeper dive on some of those grants. We had both a federal and a state single audit this year, and I'm happy to say that we didn't find any problems with any of those grants. So, the Auditor's Management Report. Now I wish I had the day, so I have to turn pages. Bear with me for a second here. Okay, so the Auditor's Management Report is required by the State Department of Education, and in it they ask us to report on various areas of compliance, like financial planning, accounting, and reporting, school purchasing, school food services, student body activities, all these types of things. This is also where you would find comments and recommendations that we found during the course of our audit. It is required for those recommendations to be read into the record at the meeting, which I'm going to do right now. The first recommendation is that the district implement controls to ensure accurate and timely posting of the general ledger. Recommendation number 2 is that the district review all SDA grant balances for validity. Those are the capital grants that you get from the state of New Jersey. Recommendation number 3 is that all district bank accounts be accurately reconciled on a monthly basis, and that any discrepancies between the treasurer's and board secretary's reports be resolved within a reasonable time frame, and that the net payroll and payroll agency bank accounts be included on the monthly treasurer's report. Recommendation number 4, that all requests for grant information be reconciled to the district's financial reporting accounting records, and that all overdrawn funds be returned to the grantor. Number 5, that the district review the balances in the analysis of payroll agency bank account for proper disposition, and that they maintain a detailed analysis of the account on a monthly basis. Number 6, that open orders be reviewed carefully at year-end for validity. And last but not least, number 7, the addition to the capital asset inventory be reconciled to the financial accounting records, and that the construction in progress account be reviewed to ensure all completed projects have been properly transferred to the appropriate asset category. So those are the comments that are in the report. As most of you on the board are aware, it was a great year of transition, okay? I think we had 4 or 5 BAs last year. I think we had 3 or 4 payroll clerks last year. And that certainly contributed to what you just heard in terms of the comments. So hopefully we're going to be moving in the right direction. We've got some new people in place now, and hopefully things will be getting better. But I'll stop for a moment now and take any questions you have on either the large report. Actually, before I take questions, one more thing. Your financial position, okay, going back to the ACRA. Your fund balance is up. Okay, most school districts in the state, their fund balance has increased this year. And in some ways, that's related to the amount of federal money that's flowing through your district right now, in terms of the ESSER monies, the digital divide monies, etc. In addition, when you were remote, you did save some money from some costs related to transportation, things of that nature. So although the surplus is up this year, I've told all my districts, be careful. Okay, I think that this is just something that's still related to the pandemic. We don't know what the future holds. What next year, the rest of this year, next year will hold for us. So although you do have a good surplus this year, and that did allow you to transfer money into your restricted reserves, your capital reserve, your maintenance reserve, that's good stuff. But I don't think you rely on that going forward. So as always, remain conservative. I'll stop right now and take any questions from the board.
Chris wants you to report into record the calendar year so they know it's not 21 and 22.
It is for the fiscal year 21, which starts July 1st, 2020 and ends June 30th, 2021. The date of the report will be on the front of the report.
And we have been seeing, correct me if I'm wrong, improvements in all of these areas since.
Yeah, I can comment on that because as a result, we really had to kind of dig into the records, considering the condition of the records were what we got there. And as a result, we had to go a little bit further and deeper. So towards the end of the year, I saw improvement in many of the areas. And we had to go further into this year to verify things. And so it does certainly appear that things are moving in the right direction. There were definite signs of that.
Very good, thank you. Ms. Regan?
It's not really a question, but I'd like to thank Ms. Case, because since she's been here, I've watched her enact protocols to make sure that we don't have certainly the same repetitiveness that we've seen on these reports. And so I really thank you a lot for the work that you did in the commission.
I'm going to double down on that. It's an excellent point to bring up because it's about process. Okay, well, a lot of the things I just spoke about are about process or lack of process. And that's one of the things that you definitely know in the way that Lindsay's conducting things now. There are real processes in place, which is good, and that bodes well for the future. I also, you stole a little bit of my time because I'm supposed to say thank you as well to Jay and to Lindsay for their help during the audit. The audit's not easy, okay? We're in there for a good while, poking and prodding while they're trying to do their day-to-day business. And we really appreciate the professionalism that they show to us and the time that we spent after hours as well, on weekends, etc., always accessible. If I texted Lindsay on Sunday, she's texting back literally 5 minutes later. And I would only do that because she said I could. Just for the record, I wouldn't do that. But very responsive, and that's key as well. So, and I know you just kind of got a lot of this information. I always say that as you go through the 2 reports, if you have any problems at all, I'm more than happy to come back and answer any questions you have.
We have hard copies if you'd like.
We now have our copies as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and have a good one.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Last week went very well, moving back to mask optional in the schools, and we're so happy to see things returning to normal with so many activities and events happening currently, as well as many, many more coming in the next few months. Something coming up at MAMS. The MAMS Administration and Student Equity Team is excited to announce that through the generosity of the MAMS PTSO, we've secured a license to show the new documentary, Who We Are, A Chronicle of Racism in America, at the Matawan Aberdeen Middle School on Tuesday, March 15th, tomorrow, at 6 p.m. in the MAMS Auditorium. This film was recently released in select theaters for a limited run. The MAMS Student Equity Team invites all district stakeholders and community members to join us for a community screening followed by courageous and collaborative conversations led by members of the MAMS Student Equity Team. And we hope to see everyone there. Also, as a reminder, the district is hiring. We're currently in need of bus drivers, transportation aides, substitutes, and classroom aides. Summer positions are also posted to the district's website. And also a reminder, because I know some parents have already started to ask, the 2022-2023 school calendar is up on the website for your reference. And with that, we're going to move to curriculum and instruction. Dr. Baldinger.
Good evening. Beginning with Part A travel, we have 2 staff members who attended the Texpo conference. We are adding 1 day for approval that they attended. 1 staff member attended the New Jersey School Building and Ground Association's 24th conference. 2 high school counselors attending the Monmouth County Counselors Association conference at no cost. 2 staff members attending the synergistic training. 1 staff member attending the NJPSA FBA Trauma Informed Practices SEL for Educators workshop. 1 staff member attending the iReady Classroom Math workshop at no cost to the district. And 4 board members attending the Garden State Coalition of Schools 30th annual meeting. Moving on to Part B, item number 1 and 2, we're asking the board to take action on this evening. Item number 3 and item number 4 and 5 are non-action items for this evening's board meeting. And that concludes curriculum instruction.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I'll motion.
Second.
Okay. Move to student services, Ms. Perez.
Good evening. Under Student Services, under items 1, 2, and 3, we'd like to take action on those following items. Under item number 4, that is not an action item. That concludes Student Services.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I'll motion. I'll second.
Personnel, Mr. Lehman.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm up meeting tonight with 2 walk-in items. Both are for action. Action item walk-in 1A, we're asking the board to approve 2 candidates as listed. Walk-in item number 2, which is listed as 1A other, we're asking the board to take action with employee 5295 as listed on the walk-in. To the agenda under personnel action items, we're asking the board to approve the recommendations for action this evening on items 1, 2, and 3. The remaining part of the agenda is for the board to consider. We're asking the board to consider items A, B, C 1 through 9, and D 1 through 4. That concludes personnel.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
Finance, Ms. Case.
We'll be looking to take action on the following item. 1, accepting the 2021 annual audit and related corrective action plan. The rest is 2 through 7, which we'll be taking action on at the second meeting.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I'll motion. I'll second.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board on any agenda items?
Mrs. Scully, can I just ask you a question?
Ms. Perez, for the equestrian Sunnyside Recreation, where does, if in a worst case scenario, if something happens to one of the kids or somebody gets hurt or anything, where does that liability fall? Is that something on the district? Do they sign paperwork, the parents, or?
Parents sign paperwork, and then we fill out something with the Sunnyside.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or
And
comments?
Ms. Martinez, they also fall under our umbrella policy as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
I just have a comment, if I may. Curriculum, the community arts edition as well as the others. I'm really excited for that community arts program. I think that speaks volumes as to what we heard during strategic planning, increasing our partnerships, getting our kids more involved with our school, getting our town more involved with our school. So I was really excited to see that and see what is involved in the answers that we received. So thank you again, Dr. Bombadil, for working to improve the curriculum as well as the rest of the team.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move to public comments on agenda items and additional matters. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on matters of interest to the school community. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements should be directed to the board president, and no participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while it is not the board's intention to stifle comment on matters of legitimate concern, the public should be aware that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of the legal ramifications of their comments, the board urges them to seek guidance beforehand from their own legal advisor. Okay. Seeing no public comments, we're going to vote on agenda items, just the action items within curriculum and instruction, student services, personnel, and finance.
Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Delaney?
Yes.
Ms. Silas?
Abstain from item A, yes for B.
Can you just tell me which one?
Travel.
Travel. Thank you. Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes, also abstaining from travel, please.
Mr. Mata?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes, abstain from travel and working construction.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes, I'm also abstaining from travel. Moving on to unfinished business.
Yeah,
Mr. Ahern?
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd like to go back. If we included the walk-in items in the personnel section, I'd like to go back and I'd like to vote no on Ms. Weinkauf and yes on everything else.
So we'll call that 1A.
Yeah,
Madam President?
no, it's one.
Yes, Dr.
Do the same.
Okay, Dr. Delaney.
I'd like to abstain on that one.
Okay. Anyone else? We're good? Okay, moving on to unfinished business. If anybody has any? No? Okay, new business? Ms. Friedman?
Thank you. So there were two issues that I've had as a parent I've seen come up as a board member I've heard within the community, and I wanted to ask the board if they would consider entertaining talking about two athletic policies. I don't know if we have them. I didn't see them specifically. Our district takes off religious holidays, and I was concerned that there's not a policy that says that, say athletics, but On those days that the district is closed for religious observance, it seems only appropriate not to have any extracurricular activities either scheduled during that time. I've never seen plays or anything like that scheduled, but I have seen athletic practices scheduled. So I wanted to see if there were some board members, or if the board as a whole wanted to take that up as an issue and see if there's a policy that we had or could create that would address that. The second part was specific to athletics, and that dealt with practices and how parents' choice of taking vacations, so on, affect the child, which I think would be something that we should talk about maybe in a committee, if that would be possible. So I guess what I'm asking Mrs. Scully is that if possibly we can take a poll, see if there would be a policy committee that we could form to review that. If people would be inclined to be on that policy committee, or if you'd want to discuss it as a whole as a board.
Can you just explain what the policy would entail?
So in regards to the religious holidays, very simply put, that there shouldn't be any district endorsed practices or events that happen when the district is closed for religious observances. The second, my concern, as I've said as a parent, and as I've seen recently as a board member, is we have kids here who are beholden to their parents. And if a parent schedules a vacation, a wedding, or something that they require their child to go to, it saddens me if the child has some sort of punishment, whether it's intended as a punishment or not, for missing out on a competition, homework, test, a game, things of that nature.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I'm with you on the religious holidays, because I feel like if we're closed as a district for religious purposes, I know we can have holidays, and holidays sometimes we can have practices for those who do not travel with their families. But if a person decides in their own personal dealings, because like we have this coming school year, November off for the week, because a lot of parents take that time off, I don't think that's for me, right, my own personal feeling, to put that in a policy to state that the child won't lose out on certain curricular activities. And I know the parent can situate everything around school, but if your child is attending that program, then as a parent, we know that the responsibility is the child will perform to their best and show up at that event. If it's a funeral or, a death in a family, that's something different. But I'm not comfortable making a policy because the parent decides to take a vacation to take the child, and the child is not at a track meet or a basketball championship because they're on vacation. It's just my personal feeling.
And I certainly don't disagree with that. What I'm more or less thinking isn't necessarily just vacation, but that's why I thought it would be something worthy to discuss. If it's a wedding, family wedding that is out of town, if it is, some other thing, I don't know what that imagination would be, but funeral.
For me, it would just be tracking, any type of tracking. If the child is sick and can't come in, anything pleasure, it's a no for me because it's a choice. Anything pleasure is a no for me because it's a choice. So as a parent, if you choose to attend a wedding or somebody's going out of state for whatever reason, then the consequences there for that, if there's a funeral or the child is sick or something like that, then that's understandable. There are provisions that's being made for that. But when it's personal, then anybody can choose whatever time they want to have off and completely dismiss whatever is in place for everybody else. If it's something that's unexpected, then that's understandable. But when it's planned, then it's a no for me. I'm just It's my own personal feeling. I don't think everybody's time.
Mrs. Foley, my only thought is that I understand both points, and especially the first one, but I just don't know how we monitor that second part. Because, you know, like, we would have to show notes, and that would be very, a gray area. That would be my only thought on that. Thank you.
I would suggest that, or I would agree with maybe forming a committee and talking about this more, because I can't imagine some circumstances where there may be a multi-day family wedding in some circumstances. Just things that we haven't really contemplated that it would be useful to explore. Because I do hear what Mrs. Osborne and Martinez are saying, and that makes a ton of sense too.
And I would suggest a committee as well, because what would, in a larger sense, more to the first to the first issue, we could wind up having scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. So we have to, I can't see it being done any other way than through it, because we'll have to then go out and see what other districts are doing, just from a standpoint if there's going to be things scheduled on those days regardless. Those things are going to be out of our control no matter what. So I would concur as to the committee being formed to discuss it.
Agreed. Mr. Levin, just offhand, do you happen to know if any, it's, okay.
There are.
No.
Just curious. I do agree. I think the committee is the best way, because then we can talk through all of the issues and concerns. Can I see, would anybody like to volunteer to be on the committee? I can take 4. Okay, so 4, right there? Okay. So, perfect. Ms. Fox, Ms. Friedman, Ms. Pell, Ms. Osborne. Perfect. Any other new business? Okay, then we're going to move into executive session 2. Be it resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy, personnel, and legal matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of the executive session is estimated to be 1 hour, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. Action will not take place. Can I get a motion and a second to enter executive session?
I'll motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.